Ever wondered why some people effortlessly influence others? The audiobook, The Art of Persuasion, reveals the secrets to mastering communication and influencing anyone. You'll learn to build credibility, develop emotional intelligence, and overcome resistance. Don't miss out on transforming your personal and professional life. Without these skills, you risk missed opportunities and stagnation in an increasingly competitive world. Unlock your persuasive potential and achieve the success you deserve. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 1: Unlocking Influence. In a world where ideas compete for attention and decisions shape our lives, the ability to persuade is nothing short of a superpower. Imagine having the capacity to articulate your thoughts so compellingly that others are naturally drawn to your perspective. Picture yourself navigating complex negotiations with ease, inspiring teams to achieve the impossible, or simply convincing a friend to try that new restaurant you've been raving about. This is the transformative power of persuasion, and it's a skill that lies dormant within each of us, waiting to be awakened. The art of persuasion isn't reserved for a select few born with a silver tongue. It's a learnable skill, one that can be honed and mastered with dedication and practice. This book is your guide to unlocking that potential, offering a roadmap to becoming a master of influence in both your personal and professional life. As you embark on this journey, you might wonder what you can realistically achieve by the time you finish reading. First and foremost, you'll gain a solid understanding of the fundamental principles that underpin persuasion. These aren't tricks or gimmicks, but rather core concepts grounded in psychology and communication theory. You'll begin to recognize the subtle yet powerful role that persuasion plays in your daily interactions, from casual conversations to high-stakes presentations. More importantly, you'll start applying basic persuasive techniques ethically in your own life. This isn't about manipulating others or bending them to your will. Instead, it's about learning to communicate your ideas more effectively, to connect with others on a deeper level, and to find mutually beneficial outcomes in your interactions. But this is just the beginning. If you commit to continued practice and application of these principles, the long-term benefits are truly remarkable. Over time, you can expect to develop mastery of advanced persuasion skills, allowing you to navigate even the most challenging communication scenarios with confidence and finesse. Your personal and professional relationships will flourish as you become more adept at understanding others' perspectives and articulating your own. Perhaps most significantly, you'll cultivate the ability to influence others effectively and ethically. This means not just getting your way, but doing so in a manner that respects others' autonomy and builds trust. It's about creating win-win situations and fostering genuine connections. To achieve these outcomes, we'll be covering several crucial areas. We'll delve into the psychology of influence, exploring why people make the decisions they do and how you can ethically leverage these insights. You'll develop your communication skills and emotional intelligence, learning to read subtle cues and adapt your approach accordingly. Critical thinking will be a key focus, as the ability to construct logical arguments and anticipate counterpoints is essential to persuasive success. These steps are carefully ordered to build upon each other, creating a comprehensive framework for mastering persuasion. We start with foundational concepts to ensure you have a solid grasp of the underlying principles. From there, we progressively build more advanced skills, always with an eye towards practical application. Ethical considerations are woven throughout, ensuring that as you become more influential, you also become more responsible in wielding that influence. Now, let's dive deeper into the power of influence. At its core, persuasion is about affecting change in thoughts, feelings, or actions. It's a force that shapes our world in ways both big and small. Political movements, technological innovations, and social reforms all rely on the ability to persuade others to embrace new ideas or take action. But persuasion isn't just for world-changing endeavors. It's a part of our everyday lives, often in ways we don't even realize. When you recommend a movie to a friend, you're engaging in persuasion. When you negotiate your salary or pitch an idea at work, you're using persuasive skills. Even something as simple as deciding where to go for dinner with your partner involves elements of persuasion. Understanding this omnipresence of persuasion is the first step towards harnessing its power. Once you recognize these moments of influence in your daily life, you can begin to approach them more intentionally, applying the principles you'll learn in this book to achieve better outcomes. A crucial aspect of mastering persuasion is adopting the right mindset. This is where Carol Dweck's concept of the growth mindset becomes invaluable. Dweck's research shows that people who believe their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, a growth mindset, are more likely to achieve success than those who believe their talents are innate and fixed. Applying this to persuasion means embracing the idea that your ability to influence others isn't set in stone. It's not about being born charismatic or having a natural gift for communication. Instead, it's about committing to the process of learning and improvement. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to refine your skills, to learn from both successes and failures. This growth mindset is particularly important when facing challenges or setbacks in your persuasive efforts. Instead of seeing a failed attempt at persuasion as evidence of your limitations, you'll learn to view it as valuable feedback, an opportunity to adjust your approach and try again. Part of embracing this mindset involves overcoming limiting beliefs that might be holding you back. Perhaps you've always thought of yourself as bad at public speaking or not a people person. These self-imposed labels can become self-fulfilling prophecies, limiting your growth before you even begin. By challenging these beliefs and adopting a growth-oriented perspective, you open yourself up to vast possibilities for improvement. As we explore the world of persuasion, it's crucial to address the ethical dimensions of influence. There's a fine line between persuasion and manipulation, and it's one we must be careful not to cross. Persuasion, at its best, is about presenting ideas clearly and compellingly, allowing others to make informed decisions. Manipulation, on the other hand, involves deception or coercion to achieve one's goals at the expense of others. Ethical persuasion is founded on principles of honesty, transparency, and mutual benefit. It's about finding ways to align your goals with those of others, creating outcomes that serve everyone involved. Throughout this book, we'll explore techniques for influential communication, always with an eye towards maintaining ethical standards. This ethical approach isn't just morally right, it's also more effective in the long run. Trust is a cornerstone of persuasion, and once lost, it's incredibly difficult to regain. By committing to ethical influence, you build a reputation for integrity that enhances your persuasive power over time. As we prepare to embark on this journey of mastering persuasion, it's important to set clear personal objectives. What specific areas of your life do you hope to improve through better persuasive skills? Perhaps you're looking to advance in your career, improve your personal relationships, or become a more effective leader in your community. Take some time to reflect on your goals and write them down. These will serve as guideposts as you work through the material in this book. Remember, mastering the art of persuasion is not a destination, but a journey. This requires a commitment to continuous learning and growth. The skills you'll develop are not static. They must be regularly practiced and refined. As you progress, you'll find new challenges and opportunities to apply your persuasive abilities in increasingly complex situations. The chapters that follow will equip you with a powerful toolkit for influence, from building credibility and emotional intelligence to overcoming resistance and leading with influence. Each chapter builds upon the last, creating a comprehensive framework for persuasive mastery. As we conclude this introductory chapter, consider the vast potential that lies ahead. The ability to persuade effectively can open doors you never thought possible, create connections that enrich your life, and empower you to make a real difference in the world around you. The journey to persuasive mastery begins with a single step, and you've already taken it by opening this book. In the next chapter, we'll delve deeper into the psychological foundations of persuasion, exploring the hidden forces that shape human decision-making. You'll gain insights into the subtle yet powerful ways our minds process information and make choices, setting the stage for more advanced persuasive techniques. Prepare to uncover the secrets of the persuasive mind and unlock new levels of influence in your interactions. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 2: Understanding Persuasion. Have you ever wondered why some ideas spread like wildfire while others fizzle out? Or why certain people seem to have an uncanny ability to sway opinions and inspire action? The answer lies in the intricate art of persuasion, a skill that has shaped human interactions since the dawn of civilization. Understanding persuasion is not just about learning a set of tricks or techniques. It's about delving into the very essence of human decision-making and uncovering the hidden forces that guide our choices. By grasping these core principles, you'll not only enhance your persuasive effectiveness, but also gain a deeper insight into the human psyche. The importance of mastering persuasion cannot be overstated. In a world inundated with information and competing ideas, the ability to communicate effectively and influence others ethically is more crucial than ever. Whether you're a business leader, a community organizer, or simply someone looking to improve personal relationships, understanding the foundations of persuasion will give you a significant advantage. But here's the thing: persuasion isn't a modern invention. Its roots stretch back through millennia of human history. Ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle pondered the art of rhetoric, developing theories that still influence our understanding of persuasion today. In fact, many of the persuasive techniques we consider cutting-edge have their origins in classical thinking. As we journey through time, we see how persuasion has evolved alongside human society. The advent of mass media in the 20th century revolutionized the way ideas spread, giving rise to new forms of influence. Today, in our digital age, persuasion has taken on yet another dimension. Social media, targeted advertising, and big data have created unprecedented opportunities for persuasive communication, and with them, new ethical challenges. But what exactly makes something persuasive? Why do we find certain arguments compelling while others leave us cold? To answer these questions, we need to dive into the psychological principles that underpin persuasion. One of the most influential frameworks for understanding persuasion comes from psychologist Robert Cialdini. His research identified 6 key principles that guide human behavior in the context of influence. These principles are like hidden levers in the human mind, each capable of tilting the scales of decision-making when activated. The first of these principles is reciprocity. It's a simple yet powerful concept. We feel obligated to return favors and treat others as they have treated us. This instinct is deeply ingrained in human societies, fostering cooperation and mutual benefit. In the realm of persuasion, understanding reciprocity can be a game changer. But reciprocity is just the tip of the iceberg. As we explore further, we'll uncover the other 5 principles, each offering unique insights into human behavior. From the power of commitment and consistency to the allure of scarcity, these principles form a comprehensive toolkit for ethical persuasion. However, it's crucial to remember that these principles aren't manipulative tricks. They're fundamental aspects of human psychology, and using them ethically requires a deep understanding of their implications. As we delve into each principle, we'll explore not just how to apply them, but how to do so in a way that respects the autonomy and well-being of others. Beyond Cialdini's principles, our journey into persuasion will take us into the fascinating world of cognitive biases. These are the mental shortcuts and predispositions that often lead us to make irrational decisions. By understanding these biases, you'll gain insight into why people sometimes act in ways that seem counterintuitive or illogical. For instance, have you ever wondered why people tend to stick with their initial decisions, even in the face of contradictory evidence? Or why we often give more weight to information that confirms our existing beliefs? These phenomena are examples of cognitive biases at work, and they play a crucial role in the persuasion process. But cognitive biases are just one piece of the puzzle. We'll also explore the concept of heuristics, mental shortcuts that help us make decisions quickly in complex situations. These shortcuts can be incredibly useful, allowing us to navigate the overwhelming amount of information we encounter daily. However, they can also lead us astray if we're not aware of their limitations. Understanding heuristics is key to effective persuasion because it allows you to present information in a way that aligns with how people naturally process it. It's not about exploiting these mental shortcuts, but rather about communicating in a way that resonates with how the human mind works. As we delve deeper into these psychological insights, you'll begin to see persuasion in a new light. It's not just about crafting compelling arguments or using charismatic delivery. Effective persuasion is about understanding the underlying mechanisms of human decision-making and aligning your message with these natural processes. This understanding will allow you to tailor your messages more effectively to your audience. You'll learn to recognize the subtle cues that indicate which persuasive approaches are likely to be most effective in a given situation. Moreover, you'll develop an appreciation for the importance of timing and context in persuasion. But theory alone isn't enough. To truly master the art of persuasion, you need to put these principles into practice. That's why we'll be exploring practical exercises designed to help you identify persuasive techniques in the media around you and practice ethical influence in your everyday conversations. These exercises aren't just academic. They're designed to help you develop real-world skills. By analyzing advertisements, political speeches, and other forms of persuasive communication, you'll sharpen your ability to recognize influence attempts. More importantly, you'll learn how to craft your own persuasive messages that are both effective and ethical. As you progress through this chapter and begin applying these principles, you'll likely notice some immediate improvements in your persuasive abilities. At a basic level, you'll start to recognize the fundamental principles of persuasion at work in your daily interactions. This awareness alone can be transformative, giving you new insights into why people make the decisions they do. But the real magic happens when you start actively applying these principles to enhance your communication. You'll find yourself crafting more compelling arguments, presenting ideas in ways that resonate more deeply with your audience, and navigating complex interpersonal situations with greater ease. For those who fully embrace these concepts and commit to ongoing practice, the potential outcomes are truly remarkable. Mastering ethical persuasion across a wide range of contexts opens up new possibilities in both personal and professional life. You'll become more effective at leading teams, negotiating deals, resolving conflicts, and inspiring change. Of course, the journey to persuasive mastery isn't without its challenges. It's easy to misapply these principles, especially when you're first learning them. You might find yourself overcomplicating your messages in an attempt to incorporate every persuasive technique you've learned. Or you might become so focused on the techniques that you forget to listen to your audience and adapt to their needs. But don't worry, we'll address these potential pitfalls head-on. You'll learn strategies for simplifying your messages without losing their persuasive power, and techniques for staying attuned to your audience's reactions. Most importantly, we'll continually reinforce the importance of ethical considerations in all your persuasive efforts. As we conclude this chapter, you might feel a bit overwhelmed by the depth and complexity of persuasion. That's perfectly normal. We've covered a lot of ground, from ancient philosophical concepts to cutting-edge psychological research. But remember, mastering persuasion is a journey, not a destination. Each new insight you gain, each principle you apply, brings you one step closer to becoming a truly effective and ethical influencer. The principles we've explored in this chapter form the foundation of persuasive communication, but they're just the beginning. In the next chapter, we'll delve into a crucial aspect of persuasion that goes beyond words and arguments. We'll explore a powerful force that can make or break your persuasive efforts, a quality that can't be faked or manufactured. Are you ready to unlock the secret ingredient that turns ordinary communicators into masters of influence? Chapter 3: Building Credibility. Imagine you're listening to two people speak on the same topic. One exudes confidence, speaks with authority, and has a track record of success in the field. The other seems uncertain, lacks depth in their knowledge, and has no notable achievements to their name. Who are you more likely to believe? Whose advice would you be more inclined to follow? The answer, for most of us, is clear. We naturally gravitate towards those who appear credible, trustworthy, and knowledgeable. This invisible force, this intangible quality that draws us in and makes us more receptive to someone's ideas, is at the heart of effective persuasion. It's a concept that dates back to ancient times, yet remains as relevant today as it was millennia ago. In the realm of persuasion, credibility is your secret weapon. It's the foundation upon which all your persuasive efforts are built. Without it, even the most eloquent arguments can fall on deaf ears. With it, your words carry weight, your ideas resonate, and your influence expands. But what exactly is credibility? How do we define this elusive quality? At its core, credibility is about trust and expertise. It's the belief that you are who you say you are, that you know what you're talking about, and that you have the best interests of your audience at heart. It's a combination of competence and character, of knowledge and integrity. The importance of credibility in mastering the art of persuasion cannot be overstated. When you have credibility, your message doesn't just reach your audience, it impacts them. Your words don't just inform, they inspire action. Credibility amplifies the impact of your message, turning whispers into roars, suggestions into imperatives. Moreover, credibility fosters deeper connections with your audience. When people trust you, they're more likely to open up, to share their thoughts and concerns. This two-way communication is crucial for effective persuasion. It allows you to understand your audience better, to tailor your message to their needs and desires. But credibility isn't just about how others perceive you. It's also about how you perceive yourself. When you know you're credible, when you're confident in your expertise and integrity, it shows. This self-assurance comes through in your words, your body language, your entire presence. It's a subtle yet powerful force that can turn you from a mere communicator into a thought leader in your field. So how do we build this crucial quality? How do we enhance our credibility and create a trustworthy presence? The answer lies in understanding the components of credibility and working systematically to strengthen each one. Let's start with expertise. In any field, knowledge is power. But it's not just about accumulating information. It's about demonstrating that knowledge in meaningful ways. This doesn't mean bombarding your audience with facts and figures. Instead, it's about showing a deep understanding of your subject matter, being able to explain complex concepts in simple terms, and applying your knowledge to solve real-world problems. Developing expertise is an ongoing process. It requires a commitment to continuous learning and professional development. Stay current with the latest developments in your field. Attend conferences, read widely, engage in discussions with peers. The more you learn, the more confident you'll become, and this confidence will shine through in your communications. But expertise alone isn't enough. Credibility also hinges on character and integrity. Your audience needs to believe not just in your knowledge, but in your intentions. This is where the alignment of your actions with your words becomes crucial. Consistency between what you say and what you do builds trust. It shows that you're not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Maintaining high ethical standards in your communication is another vital aspect of building credibility. Be honest and transparent. If you don't know something, admit it. If you make a mistake, own up to it. People respect honesty far more than they respect perfection. Your personal presence also plays a significant role in establishing credibility. This includes your body language, your tone of voice, and your overall demeanor. Stand tall, make eye contact, speak clearly and confidently. These nonverbal cues send powerful messages about your credibility before you even begin to speak. Confidence is key here, but be careful not to cross the line into arrogance. True confidence is quiet and assured. It doesn't need to boast or belittle others. Practice your delivery, whether it's for presentations, meetings, or casual conversations. The more comfortable you become in expressing yourself, the more credible you'll appear. Another powerful tool in building credibility is social proof. This is where your reputation comes into play. What do others say about you? How are you perceived in your professional and personal circles? Building a positive reputation takes time and consistent effort, but it's well worth it. Deliver on your promises, exceed expectations, and always strive to add value in your interactions. Testimonials and endorsements from respected individuals or organizations can significantly boost your credibility. These act as third-party validations of your expertise and character. However, use them judiciously. A few powerful endorsements are more effective than a laundry list of lukewarm recommendations. Now that we've explored the components of credibility, let's talk about how to put this knowledge into practice. Self-assessment is a good place to start. Take a hard look at your current level of credibility. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? Be honest with yourself. This is the first step towards improvement. Consider factors like your level of expertise, your track record of reliability, your communication skills, and your ethical standards. Rate yourself in each area and identify specific actions you can take to improve. Maybe you need to deepen your knowledge in certain areas, or perhaps you need to work on your public speaking skills. Role-playing exercises can be incredibly helpful in enhancing your credibility. Practice presenting your ideas to a friend or colleague. Ask for feedback on your delivery, your body language, and the clarity of your message. The more you practice, the more natural and confident you'll become. As you work on building your credibility, you'll likely see a progression of outcomes. At a basic level, you'll notice an improvement in your personal presentation. You'll feel more confident, and this confidence will be apparent to others. This alone can make a significant difference in how your message is received. With continued effort, you'll find yourself being recognized as trustworthy by a wider circle of people. Your opinions will carry more weight, and people will increasingly seek out your advice and input. This is a crucial milestone in your journey towards persuasive mastery. For those who fully commit to this process, the ultimate outcome is to be established as an authority figure in your field. This is where your influence reaches its peak. People don't just trust your opinion, they look to you to shape their understanding of important issues. You become a thought leader, someone who doesn't just follow trends, but sets them. Of course, the path to building credibility isn't always smooth. There are potential pitfalls to be aware of. One common issue is inconsistency between actions and words. This can quickly erode trust. The fix is simple in theory, though sometimes challenging in practice. Always strive to align your actions with your words. If you say you'll do something, do it. If you advocate for certain principles, live by them. Another pitfall is overconfidence. While confidence is crucial for credibility, tipping over into arrogance can be disastrous. The antidote is to practice humility. Remember, true expertise includes recognizing the limits of your knowledge. Be open to learning from others, and don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong or unsure. Lastly, don't make the mistake of neglecting your audience's perception. Credibility isn't just about how you see yourself, it's about how others see you. Regularly seek feedback from trusted sources. Be open to constructive criticism and use it to continually refine your approach. As we conclude this chapter, you should now have a clear understanding of why credibility is so crucial in the art of persuasion and how to go about building it. Remember, credibility isn't something you achieve once and then forget about. It's an ongoing process, a quality that needs to be maintained and nurtured over time. But credibility, as important as it is just one piece of the persuasion puzzle. In our next chapter, we'll explore a dimension of communication that goes beyond words and logic, tapping into a powerful force that can make your message truly resonate. Are you ready to discover the hidden language that can turn agreement into action and interest into passion? Chapter 4: Emotional Intelligence. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to navigate social situations with effortless grace while others struggle to connect? Or why certain leaders can inspire unwavering loyalty while others fail to motivate their teams? The answer lies in a powerful, often overlooked aspect of human interaction, a quality that goes beyond logic and reason, tapping into the very core of what makes us human. This hidden force shapes our decisions, influences our relationships, and plays a crucial role in how we perceive the world around us. It's a skill that can be developed, a strength that can be honed, and a tool that, when mastered, can dramatically enhance your ability to persuade and influence others. But what exactly is this mysterious quality? It's not charisma, though it can certainly enhance it. It's not intelligence in the traditional sense, though it's every bit as important. No, what we're talking about is something far more fundamental to human interaction, something that underpins every conversation, every negotiation, every attempt at persuasion. To truly understand this concept, we need to delve into the realm of emotions, not just our own emotions, but the emotions of those around us. We need to explore how these feelings shape our thoughts, our actions, and our responses to others. This is the domain of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, or EI, is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions as well as the emotions of others. It's about being aware of emotional states and using that awareness to guide our thinking and behavior. In the context of persuasion, emotional intelligence is nothing short of a superpower. Why is emotional intelligence so crucial for mastering the art of persuasion? The answer lies in the nature of human decision-making. While we often like to think of ourselves as rational beings, the truth is that emotions play a significant role in our choices and actions. By understanding and leveraging emotions, we can create deeper connections, build stronger rapport, and ultimately become more influential. Emotional connections enhance influence in ways that logic alone cannot. When we connect with others on an emotional level, we bypass many of the mental barriers that might otherwise resist our message. We create a sense of understanding and alignment that makes others more receptive to our ideas. Empathy, a key component of emotional intelligence, is particularly powerful in building rapport. When we can truly put ourselves in another person's shoes, understanding their feelings and perspectives, we create a bond of trust. This trust forms the foundation for effective persuasion. Moreover, managing our own emotions improves the quality of our interactions. By staying calm under pressure, responding thoughtfully rather than reactively, and maintaining a positive outlook, we create an environment conducive to productive communication and influence. To harness the power of emotional intelligence, we first need to understand the nature of emotions and their impact on communication. Emotions are not just fleeting feelings. They are complex psychological and physiological states that influence how we perceive and interact with the world around us. In communication, emotions act as a filter through which we process information. They can enhance or distort our understanding, amplify or diminish the importance we place on certain ideas, and significantly affect how we respond to others. By recognizing this emotional dimension of communication, we can begin to navigate it more effectively. Emotional awareness is the first step in this process. This involves recognizing our own emotional states and understanding how they influence our thoughts and behaviors. It also means becoming attuned to the emotional cues of others, picking up on subtle signals in tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language. But awareness alone is not enough. To truly master emotional intelligence, we need to develop the ability to manage our own emotions effectively. This is where self-management comes into play. Self-management involves regulating our emotional responses, particularly in challenging situations. Imagine you're in a heated negotiation. Tensions are high, and you feel your frustration rising. Without emotional intelligence, you might let that frustration control your actions, potentially damaging your position. But with strong self-management skills, you can recognize that emotional response, take a step back, and choose a more constructive way to engage. Stress management is a crucial aspect of emotional self-regulation. In high-pressure situations, our ability to think clearly and communicate effectively can be compromised. By developing techniques to manage stress, such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or reframing negative thoughts, we can maintain our emotional equilibrium and continue to engage persuasively. As we develop our emotional intelligence, we also enhance our capacity for empathy and social awareness. This means not just recognizing emotions in others, but truly understanding their perspectives and experiences. It involves reading emotional cues accurately and responding appropriately. Cultural sensitivity is an important aspect of this social awareness. Different cultures may express emotions in different ways, and what's considered appropriate emotional expression can vary widely. By developing cultural intelligence alongside emotional intelligence, we can navigate diverse social contexts more effectively. All of these skills come together in the realm of relationship management. This is where emotional intelligence truly shines in the context of persuasion. By building strong interpersonal connections, we create a foundation of trust and understanding that enhances our ability to influence. Conflict resolution is a key aspect of relationship management. Disagreements are inevitable in any human interaction, but how we handle them can make all the difference. With high emotional intelligence, we can navigate conflicts constructively, finding win-win solutions that strengthen relationships rather than damaging them. So how do we harness emotions in persuasion? One powerful technique is the use of emotional appeals in our messaging. This doesn't mean manipulating others' emotions, but rather connecting our message to emotional states that motivate action. For example, by linking our ideas to feelings of hope, excitement, or security, we can make our message more compelling. Motivating others through emotion is another crucial skill. By understanding what drives people emotionally, their fears, their aspirations, their values, we can frame our ideas in ways that resonate on a deeper level. This emotional resonance can be far more persuasive than logical arguments alone. To develop emotional intelligence, practice is key. One effective exercise is journaling for self-awareness. By regularly reflecting on our emotional experiences, we can start to recognize patterns in our responses and develop greater insight into our emotional triggers. Active listening is another powerful tool for enhancing emotional intelligence. This involves not just hearing the words others say, but truly focusing on understanding their message, including the emotional subtext. Practice giving your full attention in conversations, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting back what you've heard to ensure understanding. As you develop your emotional intelligence, you'll likely notice a progression of outcomes. At a basic level, you'll experience improved emotional awareness. You'll become more attuned to your own emotional states and better able to recognize emotions in others. With continued practice, you can achieve enhanced empathetic connections. You'll find yourself building rapport more easily, understanding others' perspectives more deeply, and navigating social situations more smoothly. For those who fully commit to developing their emotional intelligence, the ultimate outcome is mastery in leveraging emotions. At this level, you can skillfully use emotional insights to enhance your persuasive abilities, motivate others effectively, and create powerful, lasting influence. Of course, the path to emotional intelligence isn't without its challenges. One common pitfall is misreading emotions. We might misinterpret someone's emotional state, leading to miscommunication. The fix for this is to practice clarifying. Don't assume you know how someone feels, but rather ask and confirm. Another potential issue is emotional overload. In trying to be more emotionally aware, we might become overwhelmed by the intensity of our own or others' emotions. The solution here lies in self-regulation. Develop techniques to maintain your emotional balance, even in highly charged situations. Finally, be wary of overemphasizing emotion at the expense of logic. While emotions are powerful, they shouldn't be the only factor in persuasion. The key is to balance emotional appeals with logical arguments, creating a well-rounded and compelling message. As we conclude this exploration of emotional intelligence, you should now have a deeper understanding of how emotions shape our interactions and influence our ability to persuade. By developing your emotional intelligence, you're adding a powerful tool to your persuasive toolkit. But emotional intelligence is just one piece of the persuasion puzzle. In our next chapter, we'll explore a dimension of communication that can make or break your persuasive efforts. It's a skill that can turn a jumble of ideas into a clear, compelling message. Are you ready to unlock the secret of truly effective communication? Chapter 5: Effective Communication. Have you ever wondered why some people can captivate an entire room with just a few words, while others struggle to get their point across? Or why a simple message can be interpreted in vastly different ways by different people? The answer lies in a fundamental aspect of human interaction, a skill so essential that it forms the very foundation of our social fabric. This skill is something we use every day, often without even thinking about it. It's a tool we've been developing since infancy, yet one that many of us never fully master. It's the bridge that connects our inner world of thoughts and ideas to the external world of action and influence. But what exactly is this crucial ability that can make or break our persuasive efforts? We're talking, of course, about communication, but not just any communication, effective communication. The kind that cuts through noise and confusion, that resonates with its audience, and that drives action. It's a skill that goes far beyond mere words, encompassing a complex interplay of verbal and nonverbal elements. Why is effective communication so crucial for mastering the art of persuasion? The answer is simple. Without clear communication, even the most brilliant ideas can fall flat. You might have the most compelling argument in the world, but if you can't articulate it clearly and persuasively, it won't have the impact you desire. Clear communication forms the foundation of all persuasive efforts. It ensures that your message is understood exactly as you intend it to be. When your ideas are communicated effectively, they're more likely to be received, internalized, and acted upon by your audience. But effective communication isn't just about speaking clearly. It's equally about listening effectively. By truly hearing and understanding others, you gain valuable insights that can enhance your persuasive abilities. You learn about your audience's needs, concerns, and motivations, allowing you to tailor your message for maximum impact. Moreover, the ability to adapt your communication style to different situations and audiences can significantly broaden your reach and influence. What works in a boardroom might not work in a casual conversation, and what resonates with one cultural group might fall flat with another. By mastering adaptable communication, you can effectively persuade across a wide range of contexts. To truly understand effective communication, we need to delve into its fundamental processes. At its core, communication is about the transfer of information from a sender to a receiver. This might seem simple, but it's a process fraught with potential pitfalls. The Shannon-Weaver model of communication provides a useful framework for understanding this process. It breaks communication down into several key components: the sender, the message, the channel through which the message is sent, the receiver, and any noise that might interfere with the transmission. Understanding this model helps us identify potential barriers to effective communication. These barriers can be physical, like distance or noise, linguistic, such as using jargon or technical language with a non-expert audience, or psychological, like preconceptions or emotional states that affect how a message is received. But effective communication goes beyond just the words we use. In fact, research by Albert Mehrabian suggests that in face-to-face communication, only 7% of the message is conveyed through the actual words. The rest comes from vocal tone, 38%, and body language, 55%. This is known as Mehrabian's rule, and it underscores the importance of nonverbal communication in getting our message across. Let's start with verbal communication skills. Clarity and conciseness are key here. Your message should be straightforward and easy to understand. Avoid jargon or overly complex language unless you're sure your audience will understand it. Practice articulating your ideas in simple, clear terms. The tone of your voice also plays a crucial role. It can convey enthusiasm, confidence, sincerity, or a host of other emotions that can significantly impact how your message is received. Pay attention to your vocal inflections, pace, and volume. A well-modulated voice can add emphasis and interest to your words, making your message more engaging and persuasive. Nonverbal communication is equally important. Your body language can reinforce or contradict your words, so it's crucial to ensure they're in alignment. Maintain an open posture, use appropriate gestures to emphasize points, and be aware of your facial expressions. Eye contact is particularly important. It helps establish trust and shows that you're engaged and confident. Active listening is another crucial component of effective communication. It's not just about hearing the words someone is saying, but truly understanding their message. This involves giving your full attention to the speaker, observing their nonverbal cues, and providing feedback to ensure you've understood correctly. When practicing active listening, avoid interrupting or formulating your response while the other person is still speaking. Instead, focus on fully understanding their perspective. Ask clarifying questions if needed, and paraphrase what you've heard to confirm your understanding. This not only ensures clear communication, but also helps build rapport and trust. In today's digital age, it's also important to consider how communication changes across different mediums. Written communication, for instance, lacks the nonverbal cues of face-to-face interaction, so extra care must be taken to ensure clarity. Tone can be particularly tricky in written form, so be mindful of how your words might be interpreted. Digital communication platforms each have their own etiquette and best practices. A formal email will have a different tone and structure than a quick message on a chat platform. Understanding these nuances can help you communicate more effectively across various digital channels. One of the most crucial aspects of effective communication is tailoring your message to your audience. This involves understanding who you're communicating with, their background, interests, concerns, and level of knowledge on the topic. By customizing your content and delivery to your specific audience, you can significantly increase the impact of your message. To enhance your communication skills, practice is key. Try recording yourself giving a speech or presentation, then review it critically. Pay attention to your verbal and nonverbal communication. Are you speaking clearly? Is your body language supporting or detracting from your message? This exercise can provide valuable insights into areas for improvement. Role-playing different communication scenarios can also be helpful. Practice adapting your communication style to different audiences and situations. This could involve changing your language, tone, or even your body language to better connect with your audience. As you work on improving your communication skills, you'll likely notice a progression of outcomes. At a basic level, you'll achieve clearer messaging. Your ideas will be more easily understood, reducing the chances of miscommunication. With continued practice, you can reach a level where you're able to engage diverse audiences effectively. You'll be able to adapt your communication style to different contexts and connect with a wide range of people. The ultimate goal is to achieve mastery in adaptable communication. At this level, you can effortlessly adjust your communication style to any situation, maximizing your persuasive impact across all contexts. Of course, the path to effective communication isn't without its challenges. Miscommunication can occur even with the best intentions. The key is to clarify. If you're not sure your message has been understood, ask for feedback. Similarly, if you're unsure about someone else's message, don't hesitate to ask for clarification. Another common pitfall is ignoring nonverbal cues. Remember Mehrabian's rule. A significant portion of your message is conveyed through body language and tone. Pay attention to these nonverbal elements in both your own communication and that of others. Inflexibility in communication style can also be a problem. What works in one situation may not work in another. The solution is to remain adaptable and responsive to feedback. Pay attention to how your audience is reacting and be willing to adjust your approach if needed. As we conclude this exploration of effective communication, you should now have a deeper understanding of its crucial role in persuasion. By honing your communication skills, both verbal and nonverbal, you're equipping yourself with a powerful tool for influence. But effective communication, as vital as it is just one piece of the persuasion puzzle. In our next chapter, we'll delve into a skill that can transform the way you approach persuasion. It's an ability that can help you cut through complexity, challenge assumptions, and construct irrefutable arguments. Are you ready to unlock the power of your mind and take your persuasive abilities to the next level? Chapter 6, Critical Thinking. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you knew you were right, but couldn't quite explain why? Or perhaps you've encountered an argument that seemed convincing at first glance, but left you with a nagging feeling that something wasn't quite right. These experiences point to a crucial skill in the art of persuasion, a skill that goes beyond mere knowledge or charisma. This skill is like a mental Swiss Army knife, equipping you with the tools to dissect complex ideas, uncover hidden assumptions, and construct rock-solid arguments. It's a skill that can transform you from a passive consumer of information into an active, discerning thinker. But what exactly is this powerful ability that can elevate your persuasive capabilities to new heights? We're talking about critical thinking, a term you've likely heard before, but one whose true power in the realm of persuasion is often underestimated. Critical thinking is more than just being critical. It's about approaching information and ideas with a keen, analytical mind. It's about asking the right questions, challenging assumptions, and drawing well-reasoned conclusions. But why is critical thinking so important for mastering the art of persuasion? The answer lies in the nature of persuasion itself. At its core, persuasion is about presenting ideas in a way that convinces others to accept them or act upon them. Critical thinking strengthens this process at every level. First and foremost, critical thinking strengthens your arguments. By applying logical reasoning and thorough analysis, you can construct arguments that are not just persuasive on the surface, but deeply sound at their core. This makes your ideas more resilient to scrutiny and counter-arguments. Moreover, critical thinking helps prevent reasoning errors that could undermine your persuasive efforts. It allows you to spot logical fallacies and weak points in your own arguments before presenting them to others. This self-awareness is crucial in building credibility and maintaining persuasive power. Perhaps most importantly, critical thinking enhances your decision-making abilities. In the process of persuasion, you're not just presenting ideas, you're often making decisions about how to present them, which arguments to use, and how to respond to objections. Sharp critical thinking skills allow you to navigate these decisions more effectively. To truly understand the power of critical thinking in persuasion, we need to delve into its components. At its heart, critical thinking involves analysis and interpretation. This means breaking down complex ideas into their constituent parts and examining how they relate to each other. It's about looking beyond the surface level of an argument to understand its underlying structure and assumptions. Inference and explanation are equally crucial aspects of critical thinking. Inference involves drawing conclusions based on evidence and reasoning, while explanation is about clearly articulating your thought process and conclusions to others. These skills are essential in constructing persuasive arguments that others can follow and accept. Logical reasoning forms the backbone of critical thinking. This involves understanding different types of reasoning, such as deductive reasoning, moving from general principles to specific conclusions, and inductive reasoning, drawing general conclusions from specific observations. By mastering these forms of reasoning, you can construct arguments that are logically sound and difficult to refute. One of the most powerful applications of critical thinking in persuasion is the ability to identify and avoid logical fallacies. These are common errors in reasoning that can undermine an otherwise persuasive argument. For example, the ad hominem fallacy involves attacking the person making an argument rather than addressing the argument itself. The straw man fallacy involves misrepresenting someone's argument to make it easier to attack. And the slippery slope fallacy suggests that a small first step will inevitably lead to a chain of related events, usually with a negative outcome. By learning to recognize these fallacies, you can not only avoid them in your own arguments, but also spot them in others' arguments. This allows you to strengthen your own persuasive efforts while also becoming more resistant to flawed persuasion attempts by others. Another crucial aspect of critical thinking is overcoming cognitive biases. These are systematic errors in thinking that can affect our judgments and decisions. For instance, confirmation bias leads us to favor information that confirms our existing ideas, while the availability heuristic causes us to overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily remembered. Recognizing these biases in ourselves is the first step to mitigating their effects. By actively seeking out information that challenges our beliefs and consciously considering alternative perspectives, we can reduce the impact of these biases on our thinking and decision-making. Critical thinking also plays a vital role in enhancing problem-solving skills. By applying creative thinking techniques and structured decision-making frameworks, you can approach complex problems more effectively. This not only improves your ability to find solutions, but also enhances your persuasive capabilities by allowing you to present well-reasoned solutions to others. To develop your critical thinking skills, practice is key. One effective exercise is to analyze arguments you encounter in media. Pay attention to the structure of the argument, the evidence presented, and any potential logical fallacies or biases. This will help you become more adept at dissecting and evaluating arguments. Another useful exercise is to practice constructing logical debates. Choose a topic and try to argue both sides, focusing on creating logically sound arguments. This will help you understand how to build strong arguments and anticipate potential counter-arguments. As you develop your critical thinking skills, you'll likely notice a progression of outcomes. At a basic level, you'll develop better analysis skills. You'll be able to break down complex ideas more effectively and evaluate information more critically. With continued practice, you can reach a level where you're able to craft compelling arguments with ease. Your persuasive efforts will be backed by solid logic and thorough analysis, making them more effective and harder to refute. The ultimate goal is to achieve mastery in critical persuasion. At this level, critical thinking becomes an integral part of your persuasive approach. You'll be able to construct powerful arguments, anticipate and address potential objections, and navigate complex persuasive scenarios with confidence and skill. Of course, the path to mastering critical thinking isn't without its challenges. One common pitfall is allowing personal biases to interfere with objective analysis. The solution is to constantly seek out facts and alternative perspectives, challenging your own assumptions along the way. Another potential issue is falling into flawed logic despite your best efforts. The fix for this is to regularly review the principles of logical reasoning and apply them rigorously to your thinking processes. Overcomplexity can also be a problem. In an effort to be thorough, you might construct arguments that are too complex for your audience to follow. The key is to find a balance between depth of analysis and clarity of presentation. Practice simplifying complex ideas without losing their essential meaning. As we conclude this exploration of critical thinking, you should now have a deeper understanding of its crucial role in persuasion. By honing your critical thinking skills, you're equipping yourself with a powerful tool for constructing compelling arguments, making sound decisions, and navigating the complex landscape of ideas and information. But critical thinking, as vital as it is just one piece of the persuasion puzzle. In our next chapter, we'll explore a challenge that every persuader must face, a force that can derail even the most logically sound arguments. Are you ready to discover how to overcome the invisible barrier that stands between your ideas and your audience's acceptance? Chapter 7, Overcoming Resistance. Have you ever experienced the frustration of presenting a well-crafted argument only to be met with skepticism or outright rejection? It's a common scenario that even the most skilled persuaders face. You've done your research, honed your message, and delivered it with confidence, yet somehow your audience remains unconvinced. What's happening here? What invisible force is standing between your ideas and your audience's acceptance? This force, this barrier to persuasion, is something we all encounter but often struggle to understand. It's a natural human response, deeply rooted in our psychology, that can derail even the most logical and well-presented arguments. But what exactly is this force? And more importantly, how can we overcome it? We're talking about resistance, the instinctive pushback that people often exhibit when faced with persuasive attempts. Understanding and overcoming resistance is a crucial skill in the art of persuasion. It's the key to transforming skepticism into agreement, enhancing your persuasive success, and ultimately building stronger relationships. But why is overcoming resistance so important for mastering the art of persuasion? The answer lies in the nature of human interaction. No matter how compelling your argument, how charismatic your delivery, or how sound your logic, if you can't address and overcome resistance, your persuasive efforts will fall short. The ability to convert skepticism into agreement is perhaps the most obvious benefit. When you can effectively handle objections and address concerns, you open the door to changing minds and winning support for your ideas. This skill can be the difference between a failed pitch and a successful one, between a stalled negotiation and a mutually beneficial agreement. Moreover, learning to overcome resistance enhances your overall persuasive success. It allows you to navigate challenging conversations more effectively, to anticipate and address objections before they become roadblocks. This proactive approach can significantly increase your persuasive hit rate, making you more effective in all your interactions. Perhaps most importantly, skillfully overcoming resistance can help build stronger relationships. When you handle objections with empathy and respect, you demonstrate that you value the other person's perspective. This fosters trust and mutual understanding, creating a foundation for more positive and productive interactions in the future. To truly understand how to overcome resistance, we first need to delve into its causes. Resistance doesn't arise in a vacuum. It's often a response to specific triggers or concerns. These can range from fear of change to skepticism about claims, from perceived threats to autonomy to simple misunderstandings. One key concept to understand here is the psychology of reactance. Reactance theory, developed by psychologist Jack Brem, suggests that when people feel their freedom of choice is threatened, they often react by reasserting their freedom, often by doing the opposite of what's being suggested. This explains why heavy-handed persuasion attempts can often backfire, increasing resistance rather than reducing it. Another crucial framework for understanding resistance is the Elaboration Likelihood Model, ELM, developed by Richard Petty and John Cacioppo. This model suggests that people process persuasive messages through two routes: the central route, which involves careful consideration of the message's merits, and the peripheral route, which relies more on superficial cues like the messenger's credibility or the message's emotional appeal. Understanding which route your audience is likely to take can help you tailor your approach to overcome resistance more effectively. So how do we begin to overcome resistance? The first step is often building rapport. This involves establishing common ground and creating a sense of connection with your audience. When people feel that you understand and respect their perspective, they're more likely to be open to your ideas. Trust-building strategies are crucial here. This might involve demonstrating your expertise in a non-threatening way, showing that you have the audience's best interests at heart, or simply taking the time to listen and understand their concerns before launching into your persuasive message. Effective objection handling is another key skill in overcoming resistance. This starts with truly listening to understand the other person's concerns. Too often, we make the mistake of dismissing objections or rushing to counter them without fully grasping the underlying issue. By listening actively and empathetically, you can often uncover the real root of the resistance and address it more effectively. Once you understand the objection, the next step is addressing concerns directly. This doesn't mean aggressively arguing against them, but rather acknowledging them and providing thoughtful, evidence-based responses. The key is to make the other person feel heard and respected, even as you work to change their mind. Empathy and validation are powerful tools in reducing resistance. By showing that you understand and respect the other person's perspective, you can often diffuse defensive reactions and create a more open dialogue. This doesn't mean you have to agree with their position, but rather that you recognize its validity from their point of view. Providing evidence and reassurance can also be effective in overcoming resistance. This might involve sharing data, expert opinions, or examples that support your position. The key is to present this information in a way that's relevant and meaningful to your audience, rather than overwhelming them with facts and figures. Reframing perspectives is another powerful technique for overcoming resistance. This involves changing the narrative around your proposal, often by highlighting benefits over features. Instead of focusing on what your idea is, emphasize what it can do for the other person. How will it solve their problems, meet their needs, or help them achieve their goals? As you work to overcome resistance, it's important to continually check for agreement and establish next steps. This helps to close the persuasion loop, ensuring that you're not just overcoming objections, but actually moving towards a positive outcome. Ask questions to confirm understanding and agreement, and be clear about what actions or decisions should follow. To develop your skills in overcoming resistance, practice is key. Role-playing objection scenarios can be a powerful exercise. Have a friend or colleague present common objections to your ideas and practice responding with empathy and effectiveness. This can help you become more comfortable and skilled at handling resistance in real-world situations. Developing reframing techniques is another useful exercise. Take a proposal or idea and practice presenting it from different angles, emphasizing different benefits or addressing different concerns. This can help you become more flexible and adaptable in your persuasive approach. As you work on improving your ability to overcome resistance, you'll likely notice a progression of outcomes. At a basic level, you'll become better at recognizing sources of resistance. You'll develop a keener sense of when and why people are pushing back against your ideas. With continued practice, you can reach a level where you're able to effectively address objections as they arise. You'll have a toolkit of strategies for handling different types of resistance, allowing you to navigate challenging conversations with greater ease and success. The ultimate goal is to be able to transform resistance into support. At this level, you're not just overcoming objections, but actually using them as opportunities to strengthen your position and build deeper agreement. You'll be able to turn skeptics into advocates, using their initial resistance as a springboard for more powerful persuasion. Of course, the path to mastering resistance overcoming isn't without its challenges. One common pitfall is becoming defensive in the face of objections. This can lead to a confrontational dynamic that increases resistance rather than reducing it. The fix is to practice active listening and empathy, focusing on understanding rather than defending. Another potential issue is ignoring or dismissing concerns. Even if an objection seems irrelevant or misguided to you, it's real and important to the person raising it. The solution is to approach all concerns with empathy and respect, addressing them thoroughly, even if they seem minor to you. Aggressive tactics can also backfire when trying to overcome resistance. Pushing too hard or trying to force agreement can trigger reactance, increasing resistance rather than reducing it. The key is to adopt a collaborative approach, working with the other person to address concerns and find mutually beneficial solutions. As we conclude this exploration of overcoming resistance, you should now have a deeper understanding of why people resist persuasive attempts and how to address this resistance effectively. By mastering these skills, you're adding a powerful tool to your persuasive toolkit, one that can help you navigate even the most challenging interactions with grace and effectiveness. But overcoming resistance, as crucial as it is just one piece of the persuasion puzzle. In our next chapter, we'll explore a dimension of persuasion that can elevate your influence to new heights. It's a quality that can inspire others to follow your lead, to embrace your vision, and to work towards shared goals with passion and commitment. Are you ready to discover the secret of those who don't just persuade, but truly lead? Chapter 8: Leadership Influence. Have you ever wondered why some individuals seem to effortlessly rally others around a cause, inspiring them to achieve what once seemed impossible? Or why certain leaders can transform entire organizations, not through force or coercion, but through the sheer power of their vision and personality? This ability to influence and inspire goes beyond mere persuasion. It's a quality that can change the course of history, shape the future of companies, and transform the lives of individuals. But what exactly is this powerful force that sets true leaders apart? It's more than charisma, more than authority, more even than skill or expertise. It's a unique blend of qualities that allows certain individuals to not just convince others, but to inspire them, to motivate them, to lead them towards a shared vision of the future. We're talking about leadership influence, the pinnacle of persuasive ability. It's where the skills of persuasion meet the art of leadership, creating a synergy that can move mountains. But why is leadership influence so crucial in mastering the art of persuasion? First and foremost, leadership amplifies influence. When you're in a leadership position, your words carry more weight, your actions have greater impact, and your ideas have a wider reach. This amplification effect means that mastering leadership influence can exponentially increase your persuasive power. Moreover, leadership influence inspires collective action. It's not just about getting individuals to agree with you, it's about motivating entire teams, departments, or even organizations to work together towards common goals. This ability to inspire collective action is what separates true leaders from mere managers or persuaders. Perhaps most importantly, effective leadership influence drives organizational success. When leaders can effectively influence their teams, they can align efforts, overcome obstacles, and achieve results that would be impossible through individual effort alone. This makes leadership influence a critical skill for anyone looking to make a significant impact in their organization or field. To truly understand leadership influence, we need to delve into the concept of transformational leadership. This theory, developed by James McGregor Burns and later expanded by Bernard Bass, focuses on how leaders can inspire and motivate followers to achieve extraordinary outcomes. Transformational leaders don't just direct, they inspire. They create a compelling vision of the future and communicate it in a way that resonates with their followers' values and aspirations. They motivate others not through rewards or punishments, but by appealing to their higher ideals and sense of purpose. Creating this vision is a crucial aspect of transformational leadership. It's not enough to have a goal. You need to paint a vivid picture of what success looks like, one that others can see themselves in. This vision should be ambitious yet achievable, inspiring yet grounded in reality. But vision alone isn't enough. Effective leaders know that different situations call for different approaches. This is where the idea of situational leadership comes into play. Developed by Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard, this model suggests that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to leadership. Instead, leaders need to adapt their style based on the needs of their team and the demands of the situation. Sometimes, a team needs clear direction and close supervision. Other times, they need encouragement and support. And in some situations, the best thing a leader can do is step back and let the team take the lead. The key is to accurately assess the needs of your team and the requirements of the situation, then adapt your leadership style accordingly. Communication is, of course, a critical skill for any leader, but leadership communication goes beyond just conveying information clearly. It's about communicating with impact, delivering messages in a way that inspires, motivates, and drives action. This involves not just what you say, but how you say it. Your tone, your body language, your choice of words, all of these contribute to the impact of your message. Effective leaders know how to use these elements to reinforce their message and connect with their audience on an emotional level. But perhaps even more important than speaking is listening. Great leaders are great listeners. They understand that communication is a two-way street, and that by truly listening to their team, they can gain valuable insights, build stronger relationships, and make better decisions. Building high-performance teams is another crucial aspect of leadership influence. This involves more than just assembling a group of talented individuals. It's about fostering collaboration, creating an environment where everyone feels valued and motivated to contribute their best work. Conflict resolution is an essential skill in this context. Disagreements are inevitable in any team, but effective leaders know how to navigate these conflicts constructively. They can turn potential sources of division into opportunities for growth and innovation. Ethical leadership is another critical component of leadership influence. In today's world, where trust in leadership is often at a premium, ethical behavior is more important than ever. Leaders must not only talk about ethics, they must embody ethical principles in their actions and decisions. This means leading by example, demonstrating integrity in all your dealings, and holding yourself to the highest ethical standards. It also means cultivating an ethical culture within your organization, where ethical behavior is not just encouraged, but expected. To develop your leadership influence skills, practice is essential. One effective exercise is to develop your leadership vision. Take some time to think deeply about where you want to lead your team or organization. What does success look like? What values and principles will guide you on this journey? Write this vision down, refine it, and practice communicating it in a compelling way. Another useful exercise is to engage in scenario-based leadership challenges. Present yourself with hypothetical leadership situations, a team conflict, a difficult decision, a crisis, and think through how you would handle them. This can help you develop your situational leadership skills and prepare you for real-world challenges. As you work on improving your leadership influence, you'll likely notice a progression of outcomes. At a basic level, you'll see improvement in your general leadership skills. You'll become more confident in your ability to guide and direct others. With continued practice, you can reach a level where you're able to truly motivate and inspire your team. You'll be able to create a shared vision that excites and energizes others, driving them to achieve more than they thought possible. The ultimate goal is to be recognized as an influential leader, someone who not only achieves results but transforms organizations and inspires others to reach their full potential. At this level, your influence extends beyond your immediate team or organization, shaping your entire field or industry. Of course, the path to mastering leadership influence isn't without its challenges. One common pitfall is inflexibility, sticking to one leadership style even when the situation calls for a different approach. The fix is to consciously practice adapting your style to different situations and team needs. Poor communication can also undermine leadership influence. This might manifest as unclear messages, failure to listen, or inability to connect emotionally with your team. The solution is to focus on active listening, clear articulation of ideas, and emotional intelligence in your communications. Ethical lapses, even small ones, can severely damage a leader's influence. The fix here is to consistently reinforce ethical values, both through your words and, more importantly, through your actions. Remember, as a leader, you're always setting an example. Make sure it's one worth following. As we conclude this exploration of leadership influence, you should now have a deeper understanding of how persuasion skills can be amplified and transformed in a leadership context. By mastering these skills, you're not just becoming a more effective persuader, You're becoming a leader who can inspire, motivate, and drive meaningful change. But leadership influence, as powerful as it is just one step on the journey to persuasive mastery. In our final chapter, we'll explore the ultimate frontier of persuasion, a level of skill that transcends individual techniques or contexts. Are you ready to discover the secret of those rare individuals who don't just practice persuasion, but embody it in every aspect of their lives? Chapter 9, Embracing Mastery. As we reach the final chapter of our journey through the art of persuasion, you might be wondering, what comes next? You've learned about critical thinking, emotional intelligence, effective communication, overcoming resistance, and even leadership influence. But how do you take all these pieces and transform them into something greater? How do you move from knowledge to true mastery? This is where we step into the realm of the extraordinary, the domain of those rare individuals who don't just practice persuasion, but embody it in every aspect of their lives. These are the people who seem to effortlessly influence others, who can navigate any social situation with grace and effectiveness, who can inspire and motivate even in the face of overwhelming odds. But here's the secret. This level of mastery isn't effortless at all. It's the result of dedicated practice, continuous learning, and a deep commitment to personal growth. It's about more than just accumulating techniques or strategies. It's about integrating the principles of persuasion so deeply into your being that they become second nature. This is the journey to mastery, and it's a journey that never truly ends. But with each step you take, you'll find yourself capable of achieving things you never thought possible. You'll discover new levels of influence, new depths of understanding, and new heights of personal and professional success. So, how exactly can what you've learned in this book empower you? First and foremost, you now possess enhanced influence and communication skills. You understand the psychological principles behind persuasion, you know how to craft compelling messages, and you can adapt your approach to different situations and audiences. This alone can open doors that were previously closed to you. But more than that, you've gained greater confidence in your interactions. You know that you have the tools to handle challenging conversations, to overcome objections, and to inspire others to action. This confidence will shine through in everything you do, making you more persuasive even before you say a word. Perhaps most importantly, you now have the ability to achieve your personal goals more effectively. Whether you're aiming for a promotion at work, trying to build a successful business, or working to make a difference in your community, your persuasive skills will be invaluable in rallying others to your cause and overcoming obstacles along the way. These skills won't just benefit you professionally, they can dramatically improve your personal relationships as well. By applying the principles of effective communication and emotional intelligence, you can build stronger personal connections. You'll be better able to understand and empathize with others, leading to deeper, more meaningful relationships. Moreover, your enhanced persuasive abilities will make you a more effective collaborator. You'll be able to navigate group dynamics more skillfully, resolve conflicts more easily, and inspire others to give their best efforts. This can lead to more successful projects, more harmonious teams, and more satisfying personal interactions. Think about the complex interactions you've struggled with in the past. Difficult negotiations, tense meetings, or challenging personal conversations. With the skills you've developed, you're now equipped to navigate these situations with greater ease and effectiveness. You can lead and inspire others, not through force or manipulation, but through genuine influence and motivation. But here's the truly exciting part. As you continue to practice and refine these skills, they'll become increasingly effortless. Through deliberate practice, a concept developed by psychologist K. Anders Ericsson, you can turn these techniques into habits, integrating them so deeply into your behavior that they become automatic. This is where the real power of mastery lies. As your skills become second nature, you'll find yourself becoming more persuasive with less conscious effort. You'll be able to focus more on your goals and less on the mechanics of persuasion. This increased efficiency will lead to even greater results, creating a virtuous cycle of ongoing personal and professional growth. But how do you embark on this journey to mastery? It starts with understanding that expertise isn't a destination, but a path. In his book, Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell popularized the idea that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to achieve mastery in a field. While the exact number may vary, the principle holds true. Mastery requires dedicated, consistent effort over time. This is where deliberate practice comes in. It's not enough to simply repeat the same actions over and over. Deliberate practice involves setting specific goals, focusing intently on improving particular aspects of your performance, and consistently pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. Start by setting SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, you might set a goal to successfully persuade a colleague to support your project proposal within the next month. Then, break this goal down into specific skills you need to improve, such as crafting more compelling arguments or reading nonverbal cues more effectively. As you practice, make sure to incorporate self-reflection and feedback. After each persuasive attempt, take time to reflect on what worked well and what could be improved. Seek feedback from others, not just on the outcome, but on your process. This continuous loop of practice, reflection, and adjustment is key to ongoing improvement. Intrinsic motivation is another crucial element in the journey to mastery. While external rewards can provide short-term motivation, true mastery is driven by a deep personal passion and commitment. This is where self-determination theory, developed by psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan, comes into play. According to this theory, we're most motivated when we feel competent, autonomous, and connected to others. To cultivate intrinsic motivation, align your persuasion goals with your personal values and long-term aspirations. Why is mastering persuasion important to you? How will it help you achieve your broader life goals? By connecting your practice to your deeper purpose, you'll find the motivation to persist even when the journey becomes challenging. Remember, the path to mastery is a lifelong journey. The field of persuasion is constantly evolving, with new research and techniques emerging all the time. Commit to being a lifelong learner. Stay current with the latest developments in your field, attend workshops and conferences, read widely, and always be open to new ideas and approaches. Embrace new challenges as opportunities for growth. Each difficult conversation, each complex negotiation, each public speaking opportunity is a chance to refine your skills and push your boundaries. By consistently seeking out these challenges, you'll accelerate your growth and expand your capabilities. Finally, focus on integrating persuasion skills into your daily life. Look for opportunities to practice in everyday situations, from discussing weekend plans with friends to presenting ideas in team meetings. By turning persuasion into a habit, you'll find yourself improving continuously, often without even realizing it. As you progress on this journey, make sure to measure and celebrate your progress. Keep a journal of your persuasive efforts and their outcomes. Notice how interactions that once seemed daunting now feel manageable or even easy. Celebrate each small victory along the way. They're all steps on the path to mastery. And now, as we conclude this book, I want to leave you with a final thought, a revelation that ties together everything we've discussed and points the way to true mastery of persuasion. Here it is. The ultimate secret to persuasive mastery isn't about techniques or strategies. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally inspires, influences, and leads others. When you reach this level of mastery, persuasion isn't something you do, it's who you are. Your every interaction becomes an opportunity to inspire, to motivate, to create positive change. You become a force for good in the world, using your influence not for personal gain, but to make a genuine difference in the lives of others. This is the true power of persuasive mastery. It's not just about achieving your goals or winning arguments. It's about becoming a catalyst for positive change, a source of inspiration and motivation for those around you. It's about living a life of purpose and impact, where your words and actions have the power to shape the world for the better. So as you close this book and step back into your daily life, Remember, every interaction is an opportunity to practice, to grow, to move one step closer to mastery. But mastering persuasion is just the beginning. To truly excel, you need to harness the power of logic and critical thinking. These skills are the foundation upon which all effective persuasion is built. Without them, even the most charismatic persuader can falter. But with them, you can become unstoppable. Want to know how? The answers await you in the audiobook, Persuade with Logic, Critical Thinking Skills to Influence and Win. This essential companion to your persuasion journey will equip you with the tools to construct irrefutable arguments, recognize and counter logical fallacies, and influence with integrity. Don't let your newfound persuasion skills go to waste. Supercharge them with the power of logic. Tap the center of the video now to continue your transformation journey.